3. All right, that actually should work. We'll see. Welcome to a One Take podcast for those of you who are new to audio engineering. That is what's known as a mark. This week on One Take podcast, episode Dex
163.
Yeah, episode 163.
Let's go.
We got it. We are reviewing Netflix, the latest Netflix bangers, I guess. I guess like 1 billion people have watched this according to their algorithm.
Yeah.
Or
banger and a half.
Yeah. So banger and a half. Leave the World Behind and May December. One of which will get a lot more recognition than the other. The other of which probably would have made like $100 million if they would have just put it in theaters. So we'll let you decide which one is which. And then we're going to talk about some globes of the golden kind. They're back.
The big golden globes.
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, and not going to the theater. Actually, Dex, you've been out and about. You've been in the streets. Going to the theater.
I have gone to movie theaters. It's been fun and good and weird. I saw that new Studio Ghibli movie, The Boy and the Heron. Very strange. Very, very strange. But,
don't let it lie to you, folks. He did not like that.
I did not like it at all. I hated it. I thought it
the only 2 people I've heard tell me about it said it was mid, but everyone else, like all the people writing about it and all the movie critics, have loved it. So I find that to be very fascinating, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, Studio Ghibli's not my bag, honestly, but
not mine either. So
yeah, for all of you in our Twitter mentions that put The Boy and the Heron as one of their top 5 films of 2023,
you are so wrong. Please see more movies. Please.
I will say this. I say this a lot, and we go back and forth on if we're too stupid to understand movies. I am the person that is too stupid to understand Miyazaki movies. I just am. I'm just too stupid.
Yeah.
And I know they're made for kids, but
that might be it for me too, honestly, because I was watching The Boy and the Heron just like, what is happening? Why is it happening? What is this? Why am I here?
Speaking of why, me asking myself why I stayed up to watch these things, Leave the World Behind, 2023, 6.6 on IMDb, rated R, 2 hours, 18 minutes. Number 3 trending popularity movie on IMDb currently. A family's getaway to luxurious rental home takes an ominous turn when a cyber attack knocks out their devices and 2 strangers appear at their door. 67 on Metacritic. Written and directed by Sam Esmail, based on a very critically acclaimed novel by Rumen Alam. I believe he has may have a screenwriting credit on this as well, or at least helped write or what do you call it? Commented on the movie. I was going to say, I don't know what the term is that I'm looking for there is. Oversaw, rather. Stars. Julia Roberts, who is Julia Roberts just back?
I guess so, man. You're Julia Roberts.
Back.
She was doing like weird TV shows that nobody was watching, and I don't know who got in her ear and was like, "Hey, remember you're like the biggest movie star of all time."
Well, it was Sam Esmail. This is their 3rd movie together.
3rd project together. I said
3rd project together. Sorry.
Yeah, this is the first. Sorry, I believe the 2nd movie that Sam Esmail has ever done. She was in Homecoming, which was a Prime Video series. But this is, I believe, the 2nd feature film from Sam Esmail. He is responsible, if you don't know, for Mr. Robot and putting Rami Malek into all of our households and lives.
Regrettable mistake. A regrettable mistake. We all make mistakes.
Big Oppenheimer, what have I just done meme.
Also stars Mahershala Ali. Good to see him acting in stuff. It feels like that's also very rare that we see that these days. I don't know why. Ethan Hawke as well. He's always in shit.
All the time, constantly.
Ethan Hawke has never stopped working.
He has won the streaming wars. I feel like if you have a streaming service, he will be there.
Kevin Bacon, a wild Kevin Bacon, also appears in this movie.
Love Kevin Bacon.
And Mahala? Hala?
Yes. She is a queen.
She is also in this movie. This movie didn't make any money because, Netflix, but of course, it's probably the one movie that everyone is actually talking about because you can just park your ass in front of your TV for 2 hours and watch it. Critics and audiences mixed on this movie. Most critics liked it. 75% on Rotten Tomatoes, 35% audience score.
God damn! I was not expecting it to be that low.
That's so not representative. A lot of those 65% liked the movie, but then were pissed off at the way that it ended, and then they shit on it. People have been very upset about the ending of this film
because the ending stinks.
Well, I would argue
it's perfect.
It's a pretty important part of the film.
We agree, but
some might say the most important part.
Right.
I think the ending is literally perfect. I could not be more happy with the way the film ended. I know why people hate it. To me, it's perfect.
What?
I love it. I can't get enough of it. I watched the last scene 5 times. I could not get enough of it.
A lot of people are going to watch. Truly awful take by you. I'm just going to say that right now.
I love it.
Perfect.
Awful.
I don't mind if I'm alone on this. I love the ending.
Nothing happens.
I think it's the perfect way to. Something did happen. That's not true. That's literally not true.
No one told you life was going to be this way, Dex.
No one told you life was going to be this way, Dex. No one told you.
We're going to try not to spoil this movie because a lot of people will watch it eventually. But Leave the World Behind. Tej, you liked it the most out of all of us. I think it goes descending scale of how we feel about this movie. But go ahead, give your review.
So I didn't know anything. Actually, I remember that I had seen the trailer of the movie, but only when Mahershala showed up. I for the first 30 minutes of the movie, I did not realize I was watching a movie I had already seen the trailer for. I just saw people talking about it and wanted to tap into the movie. First of all, I just always love watching Julia Roberts. Every time she shows up in something, I'm having a good time. Ethan Hawke is phenomenal. And he doesn't even have much to do in this particular role, but I just love seeing Ethan Hawke. The little girl, well, she's not a little girl, she's 18, but the actress who plays the daughter, Julia Roberts' daughter,
Sarah McKenzie.
I just think she's fucking mind blowing. I've never seen whatever I know she's famous for being in a TV show or something. I've never seen the TV show. I thought she was fucking phenomenal. Sam Esmail, I don't have a lot of background on him. I didn't watch Mr. Robot. Actually, that's not true. I tried to watch the first episode and did not really get into it. Not because of anything Sam Esmail did other than cast one of my least favorite actors in Hollywood right now. I just don't like you guys all know how I feel about that actor. So I've actually never seen Mr. Robot. But
I will argue the first season of that show is as good as any television that has been produced.
That's what everyone says. Everyone says the first season of that show is like mind-blowingly good. I think I've watched the first episode only. But after watching this film, I'm absolutely going to go watch Mr. Robot. Sam Esmail has so much style, and the way that he told this story, and the way that he parsed out the information in the story, and the way that he maintained a level of tenseness in the story. I was watching it at home. I didn't watch it in the movie theater, but I was fucking tense as fuck the entire time. Mahershala Ali is already amazing. Mahala is great. I think I've seen everything Mahala has done. She's most famous for Industry, a show on HBO, which is great. I think they have 2 seasons now. She's just a talented young actress who I enjoy seeing and stuff. I love this movie. I know that there are people that don't like it, and I totally understand. It is not a perfect film by any means. But there's shit in this movie that you've never seen before, and I know that because I've never seen it before. The scene where the ship comes aground is one of the coolest things that I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like that before. And for that to be what jumps you into the story, okay, Roy, that did nothing for you. It did everything for me. That did everything for me.
It's cool, but it's like the day after tomorrow.
It's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Every disaster film.
Not exactly the ship, but yes, it's true. Like there are a lot of disaster film, redux in this movie, but there's also some shit I've never seen. The clip that went viral with the Teslas. Obviously, we've seen all the Fast and Furious movies, so obviously we've seen autopilot shenanigans. But the way that they did the Tesla scene where you don't actually know what's happening, Julia Roberts doesn't know what's happening, and then she figures it out. This movie, there's like 20 decisions that they made in the making of this movie that I just think were so, so, so cool. The actors and actresses were all committed to their parts. I enjoyed the intimate moments where they were in their houses. I enjoyed when we were in a disaster movie and shit was going crazy. I enjoyed MAGA Kevin Bacon from Reddit and 4chan. I literally enjoyed every part of this film. I understand it's not perfect. This film is a fucking A. The ending of this film is perfect. I cannot believe that this film is not more well liked. I cannot believe that you two assholes do not like this film. I love this film. This is why I watch movies. I want to feel tense. I want to feel like I don't know what's happening. I want to know what's going to happen next. Everything about this movie was so fucking perfect. Whether we do or don't get a sequel, this was a great time. Remember how all you guys were watching Bird Box and having the time of your life? And I was like, that was okay. This is my Bird Box. This was made for me. This is my Bird Box. This movie is fucking phenomenal. I would recommend anyone to watch it. I had the time of my fucking life. I wasn't bored for 1 second. Sam Esmail is him. The drone shots, there's drone shots everywhere in this movie. You know how much I love drone shots? I am the target audience of this film. This movie is a fucking A. I love it. I can't wait to watch it again.
I will say I still have never seen Bird Box, so
nor have I. I missed out on that craze.
You guys don't need to watch it. It's the mid version of Leave a World Behind. It's mid. It's mid. And Sandra Bullock is not as talented as Julia Roberts. No disrespect.
They are on each other's corner. Like they've been duking it out for years.
They've been on each other's corner for 30 years now. It's actually kind of crazy.
What did you give it?
I gave it an A. And the only reason I didn't give it an A, it's going to bump up to an A+ if we get a sequel, or if we don't get a sequel, it'll probably bump up to an A+ on second watch. I loved it so much. And the way it looks is beautiful. The way it's shot is beautiful. Everything about seeing that fucking plane crash. I was watching in bed. I jumped out of my bed. I scared the dogs. That was the coolest. This movie is so fucking dope. It kind of reminds me of whatever the M. Night the Knock at the Door, Knock at the Cabin. It kind of reminds me of that. Which another movie that I love, despite the fact that I don't like M. Night Shyamalan, except for it was a new, innovative director that I've never seen before making the decisions. And I just really, really, really enjoyed this. But I am a disaster film honk, and this was more intimate, close-up evaluation of the actual characters in the as opposed to the characters just being avatars for the viewer. This was like a more intimate, close-up look at the actual people going through the disaster. And I like the fact that, like, unlike other disaster movies, you don't actually know what's going on. There are people that are positing about what's going on, but I like the fact that you don't know what's going on. And for that kept me so locked into the movie because I had no idea what was happening. And I like that. I like that sense of suspense that he was able to really maintain. The two set pieces where he's got basically like you're hitting your climax in 2 or 3 different areas for 2 or 3 different characters who are going through different situations, but we're showing them at the same time. I thought that was a really effective way to build tension. The music, the way that the music is building tension, I thought was really dope. You open with a Joey Badass song, which is not my favorite. Like, don't open your movie with a Joey Badass song. But other than that, I love this. And also that next song, Too Close, not a good song. Actually, a really bad song. And
it's a really bad song, but it was so funny in the moment.
It's not campy. It's not good enough to be campy enough for that moment. But other than those 2 music choices, I really, really didn't have anything else to gripe about with this film.
That shit was perfectly campy for me. I was dying laughing.
The Joey Badass song threw me off like nothing that I've seen in a movie this year before. Like not even.
I was so shocked by it.
I was like, they had all this like. There's a score throughout this movie that's kind of annoying, but it really does play up the tension. And then it's just like, I just came back for the win. And you're like, what?
I feel like I was playing like NCAA like 2025 when that song dropped. Like, I was like, wait, why did that song just drop? And also,
you're back in a FIFA menu.
I had never seen, I didn't know what Sam Esmail looked like. When that song dropped, I shit you not, I picked up my phone and I Googled Sam Esmail because I wanted to see if he was black. Because I was like, wait, he has to be black. Why is this the song that he chose here? He has to be black. Spoiler alert, he is not black. So I didn't know why he chose that. He's not black.
Yeah, I had assumed it was like a young black director, first or second movie. It was like, fuck it, Joey Badass. But like, I guess Sam Esmail be like just really in them crates. Like he just really like, you know, his Rap Caviar playlist is always playing or some shit. Like why Joey Badass? Couldn't tell you.
I didn't know Joey Badass had it like that. I mean, I didn't. I'm not the target audience for his music, but I
mean, what if he would have started with a "Oh, shut the fuck up"? Like, what if?
The world is ending. Oh, shut the fuck.
Shut the fuck up. Anyway, call her big booty because she got a big booty. You know, that would have been unbelievable. It started with a 2 Chainz song.
Yeah,
that would have been better.
That would move it up an entire letter grade for me.
That would have been better.
Dex, you just got done watching it.
Yeah. Tej, I agree with most of what you said about this movie. It's very like tense and cool. There's a lot of cool choices that he makes. He's like flipping the camera upside down and shit the whole time, like that one Midsummer shot, except he does it like 18 different times and it rules every time. There's like the disaster shit, the oil tanker going aground, the plane crashing out of the sky, the drone shit, like the animals just showing up. Like it's all really cool. And I was really invested in the movie for like the first hour and a half. And then it's like, oh wow, there's almost another hour of this movie. Damn near.
Yep.
And it doesn't feel like we are getting any closer to
the answer.
Actually, like answering anything, or like we're not like the story's not escalating properly. There's no like, you never feel like these people are really in danger, like because nothing about the situation is like, oh, you're gonna die right now. It's just like all of them being like, what's going on? I don't know. Do you know? No, I don't know. I thought you knew.
Let's go swim in the pool. You're like,
yeah. Well, I had an idea about what's going on. Well, I had an idea too. Like, I don't want to tell you my idea. He's like, yo, I want to hear your idea. It's like, what? I need someone to like, someone die, please. Like, you know, like, what are we doing? It just never escalates. It never feels urgent. And then at the end of the movie, I'm not going to spoil what happened at the end, but you're just like, that's it. Like, what? Like it feels like you just got started, but it's been 2.5 hours. Like this, you said like you would you want them to make a sequel.
There won't be a sequel.
I also want them to make a sequel, but that's because this feels like the first episode of a TV show.
Why do you think there won't be a sequel? It's been largely successful.
It's a one-off book. I don't like there. I mean,
they made
that's never stopped anybody before.
They made 2 seasons of Game of Thrones with no source material,
and look how that turned out.
Well, I'm not saying the sequel is going to be good. I'm saying it's going to be made. There's a difference.
They made a sequel, second season of Big Little Lies with just one book.
They don't give a fuck about that book once people see a movie that they like and they make some money. They don't give a fuck about no book.
I just don't see Julia Roberts and Mahershala Ali doing a sequel to this, even though he's about to be in like 20 Blade movies, hopefully.
Anthology series, baby. I mean,
I also don't want there to be a sequel because I don't give a fuck about any of these characters. Sorry.
Look at the sequel they just made, the Bird Box. It's like not even.
They literally made a sequel to Bird Box, which I've still never seen because I didn't even enjoy the first Bird Box.
I don't think anyone watched that movie.
Yeah, no one did.
But how? Everybody watched the first one. I don't know how they didn't get people to jump on for the second one, but
because they were like, "Oh, it's not Sandra Bullock or anyone else that you remember. It's a totally different thing. That's the same thing, but not."
If the sequel's just Kevin Bacon sitting in his bunker, musing about things that he saw on 4chan, I'm in. Tried to tell him.
Tried to tell him.
I mean, if this is like a 10 Cloverfield Lane thing, okay, maybe I might be in, but you know.
Yeah, but anyway, this feels like a really good first episode of a TV series, and it's like, okay, now it's time to like really get into some shit. But the movie's just over. Like all of the like questions that I had about like the characters and their motives and what's happening, like it feels like my time was wasted. Like, you know, it was like you were dumb for asking that question. The one bit of closure you get is like the least consequential like thing. Like that's the smallest loose end to tie up. They were like, okay, I guess we'll give them that. And they just cut to the credits, and I'm like, I don't know how to really rank this movie because, like I said, I had a really good time for like the first like hour and a half, and like the rest of the movie isn't bad. I just the ending just isn't there. So I guess I got to give it like a C plus. Like I wouldn't recommend watching it unless you just want to be pissed off, but like it's not horrible. You're not gonna hate yourself for watching it.
I started my review on Twitter by saying there are worse ways that you can spend your time than watching Julia Roberts and Mahershala Ali and Ethan Hawke act in a movie. Like there just is. But that being said, what's the point?
What's the point?
What's the point of any of this? What was the point that the movie's trying to make? Because I know the point of the book is like it came out in the height of 2020. Obviously, there's a lot of untrustworthiness with each other and the government baked into that. And how do you trust your neighbor? There's a lot of Trump era anxiety baked into the book. There is some here that you see, but the characters' motivations flip-flop all the time. Julia Roberts turns up the weird racism like the minute she sees a black person.
She goes full Karen as soon as she sees a black person.
And like maybe that is what it is. I haven't read the book. A lot of people love it, and I'm sure it plays out better in the book. But it just is such a the switch flips from character motivation to character motivation so flippantly that it gave me whiplash. I couldn't tell, especially in the second half of the movie when it's like we're fighting and then we're friends and then we're fighting and then we're friends again. And I don't know. And I think our friend Rascal had a take that like the wrong people are going to take like the wrong motivations away from this movie, that like, oh, the conspiracy theories are right, the government. And I just think that's wrong. I think it's probably trying to do the actual opposite of that, which is, you should trust your neighbor. And
when does the message ever have any bearing on how the right wing sickos take it? Like if they're gonna take it, how they're gonna take it? They're like as soon as you saw there's like Islamic writing on a pamphlet, those people are just gonna go run with that and make memes of it and go crazy with like the wrong. This movie is going to get into the wrong hands. Is going to be definitely slanted in the by the right wing. It's probably already happening.
It's already happening. Google put in Twitter the movie, and that one scene where she mentions not to trust white people when they're laying in the bed is already going viral. So the world's ending, but you can't trust white people. I'm like, I don't know. I don't trust anybody. Like, to be completely honest with you, but
the only thing I saw was people like, oh my God, there are drones in this movie, and Barack and Michelle Obama were the producers of the movie. How could they do this? I saw some of that, and I was like, oh God.
Well, I mean,
people are so dumb. Why is everything so stupid all the time? Bro, shut up.
we can't think properly. The internet has poisoned us, and we're doomed. We cannot go back, unfortunately. But that being said, let's still make good movies, shall we? This wasn't a something is wrong with the guests thriller, and this wasn't a complete disaster movie. It didn't know which one it wanted to be. And in fact, I could also add, it also wasn't completely a social commentary. It didn't quite know which one that it wanted to be. And then in the end, it just is a big middle finger to be like, you figure it out. And you figure it out, idiot. What do you think about it? And I'm just like, that's not why I go to the movie, really. Ambiguous endings are fine if done properly. There are just so many more questions than answers left with this story that the ending pissed me off so much so that Caitlin and I looked at each other and were like, what the fuck was that?
I hated the ending. I started clapping. I love the ending. I think that's such a cool way to end the movie.
I don't know.
To me, the ending doesn't even feel ambiguous. Like, exactly.
It's not ambiguous at all. It's just feels. It's like it happens abruptly. Yeah,
Abrupt.
It's like abruptly. Like, oh shit. Like I thought we were going to get another 30 minutes of explanation, and instead the movie is over. Because I wasn't paying attention to like the timestamp or how long the movie was, so I definitely thought that we had at least 30 more minutes of the movie left. And when it ended, but when I saw the credits, I was like, oh shit, that's a ballsy way to end the film. Sam Esmail said that like not everybody was going to help him make this movie because of the way he wanted to end it. Because people are fucking pissed at the end of this film. They're very angry about it.
Because it stinks.
Yeah,
People are pissed.
We'll give you spoilers here in just 2 seconds. I just think that it in the end it all felt for naught for me, and that's weird to say about a expensive Netflix movie, but it has these stars and it has a obviously talented filmmaker or at least television maker behind it, a guy who is willing to take creative chances. And I think to me personally, I think he just got caught in between 3 different films, and none of them were completely fleshed out enough. Like, be a disaster movie, be a we're trapped in the house movie, be an anxiety-driven movie. There is some of that, like you said. Oh, I'm on the edge of my seat. What is happening? And it never played out for me, and it kind of pissed me off at the very end of the movie. It just all for naught.
Yeah. And another thing, like I forgot to mention, like the only thing that like really makes the movie feel like it's moving forward whatsoever is like the chapter titles that he throws in here.
Yeah.
But then like they just you get to like the end of a chapter and it's like, okay, what's about to happen next? Like shit's about to get crazy. And then you get to the next chapter and it's like shit still hasn't gotten that crazy yet. It's like I'm waiting on it to like just get all the way there, you know? It feels like watching a TV show where you're like the Netflix show you're watching it and it's like, well, shit got crazy at the very end of the episode. Got to see what's about to happen next. Like
a you reference. We haven't had a you reference in forever.
I know. I promise that season 2 review is coming.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not. Like you get to the end of an episode, even though the episode stunk, you're like, well, I got to see what happens next. That's what this movie felt like, except they just never got to like an actual ending. Like this is just, it feels like there's still another episode to be played. Like this ending pissed me off. Let's get into spoilers. Let's do it.
Okay, spoilers for Leave the World Behind. It's on Netflix. It's going to be on your flash screen. You can go watch it literally right now after you're done watching us stream. But Leave the World Behind spoilers. So the ending of the film, which is what everyone's talking about, is what we've been talking about this entire time. Dex, go ahead and break it down for what happens and why it pissed you off so much.
So what happens is Mahershala Ali and Ethan Hawke get done begging and bartering with Kevin Bacon
with Footloose to give them medicine because their son's teeth is falling out.
Help, my son, he's very sick.
Yeah.
Literally. So yeah, his son's teeth are falling out. You get him some medicine. I don't know what the medicine's gonna do for his teeth.
By the way, we gotta talk about the teeth thing. That's fucking
that was gnarly.
Julia Roberts said if you notice when they're filming it, the dad is like really hands-on with the son. Like Ethan Hawke is really hands-on with the son, but Julia Roberts is kind of panicking and freaking out and standing in the back. They wanted her to be closer to him because like it's your mom and your kid's teeth are falling out. But she was so grossed out by it, she literally could not. Like Julia Roberts, the person, could not stand close. She said she gets freaked out really easily, and she literally could not stand close to that actor when his teeth were falling out. She could not do it.
We said spoiler alert, but like so, the son. We'll get to the ending. The son gets bitten by a tick, and you think that's what's causing him to be sick. Like he isn't feeling good,
yeah.
And then all of a sudden he wakes up and starts pulling out his teeth, and I thought it was a dream because it was like daylight.
So weird. It doesn't happen.
But like he doesn't. This is the problem. He doesn't fucking stop. Stop pulling out your teeth.
He just keeps doing it.
He just keeps doing it.
He's like, my teeth feel funny. Rip.
Yeah. Hey, stop.
Hey, stop doing that.
But
he pulls out
anyway,
like 5 teeth. Anyway, they go to Kevin Bacon's house to try to get
after this whole scene where Mahershala Ali and Ethan Hawke beg Kevin Bacon for medicine, Mahershala Ali just sits in the car with Ethan Hawke and is like, I think I know what's happening. I didn't want to scare anyone by saying what was happening before, but now I think I know what it is. We're at war. Like the foreign enemies of the United States have all teamed up to use this 3-pronged war system.
They've crippled the infrastructure of the United States with like EMPs and everything else, which you
EMPs
can kind
and
of
whatnot.
see coming from the very beginning of the movie. But
Make people fight each other in the United States so that the United States crumbles from the inside. Cool. And Julia Roberts and Mahala scare off some deer. I don't know how else to describe that. They scare off some deer.
CGI deer.
CGI deer. Big buff CGI deer.
Those deer were fucking huge.
Bambi's dad back for revenge.
And then Julia Roberts' youngest kid, her daughter, sneaks off into some sanctuary house that she found. And she finally gets to watch the finale episode of Friends, because this house has every DVD you could ever think of. And she watches the finale episode of Friends that she's been trying to watch the entire movie but couldn't because EMPs. So, yeah, that's it. Movie's over. No one told you life was going to be this way.
It ends on the fucking Friends theme song.
That's so good. I'm sorry, guys. That's
No, it
so
is
good.
fucking not. It
A
would be.
filmmaker making a movie where the ending is, hey, physical media, kind of important, is so good.
Oh,
The whole
lame.
time she is trying to watch the finale of Friends. There's no internet. And Royd, I don't know how you didn't say this, but one of the overarching themes of this movie is our own reliance on technology. It's all throughout the movie.
I meant to admit,
They
they're all
can't use any
yuppie
technology.
liberals. They all have soft hands.
To
They're
go
all in
through that,
New York City.
we see all this stuff happening to this family, and they can't use technology, and no one's even fucking thinking about the daughter. Every time she brings up Friends, obviously they don't give a shit about what she's talking about because, like, the world is ending or whatever. So she finds the bunker by herself, literally on her own, because she's the only one smart enough to listen to the animals. She goes into the bunker, and what is her reward? She gets to fucking watch Friends. That is so good to me. It was so poignant. It was such a great way to end the movie. I literally started clapping. The whole time, nobody's paying attention to her. She literally told her brother, hey, I saw like mad deer, and not like a couple deer, but like thousands of deer. I saw them. They were all looking at me. I think it means something. The brother makes some quip about some shit about nobody cares about what she's saying.
The brother was
Everybody
just
keeps
horny,
shitting
man.
on my girl. Everybody
Yeah,
keeps
the little
ignoring her.
asshole. I'm glad
Everybody's
she
being an
fell out.
asshole to
Fuck
her.
him.
And what happens? Not only does she find the bunker that can save them all, she gets to fucking watch Friends. And before she goes and gets all those assholes who are being assholes to her the whole movie, I'm going to sit here and watch my Friends finale in peace. I'm not even a big Friends person. I think it's a perfectly fine show. My stepmom is like obsessed with it, but I think it's a perfectly fine show.
Mistakes, actually, but
It would have been better if it was Seinfeld for me personally, but okay. We all have our tastes. And then she hits play on the fucking Friends finale, and you cut to black, and you hear the Friends finale over the credits. I'm sorry. It's perfect. It works. I know everybody hates it. I could
part
not like it
is-
more.
That part is fine. My problem is that the entire fucking movie, we're like, what's happening? Why is this happening? And then Mahershala Ali is like, oh, one time someone told me how wars work. And I think that's what's happening. And then
wars
the
work.
movie's over. And then Julia Roberts and Mahala, they stare at a bomb and they're like, oh,
they stare at
It's
New
a
York
war.
City getting carpet
New York
bombed.
City's getting carpet bombed.
like, what
Which
the
is-
fuck?
Okay, that's that. Show me that movie, which I guess Alex Garland is just making, by the way. So we'll get the sequel to Leave the World Behind in like March, I think, whenever that movie comes out.
But yeah, I'm all for her watching the Friends finale. I thought that was a good D plot. Her trying to watch the Friends finale and not
I was
being
annoyed.
able to.
I was
You don't want
annoyed.
to end
The
with
world-
that. You don't want to end with the deep plot.
The world is ending, girl. Shut the fuck up about Friends.
I
Go
feel her
away.
on that though, bro. I'm like, I can't. There's something.
If you had never seen the finale of your favorite show and the world's about to end, you would want to get that finale into. Now, some of our favorite shows have
By the
trash
way,
finales, but
Julia
she doesn't know
Roberts-
that yet.
You were alive in the 90s or like 2005 when that show ended. Tell her.
I don't think I've ever seen the Friends finale. I don't think I've ever seen it. I've
I
seen
also have
a lot
not.
of episodes of Friends, but I've never sat and watched it. It's not good enough to sit and watch all the way through. No disrespect.
Can
to the
you
Friends fans.
imagine if the world was about to end between Infinity War and Endgame? I'd be like, no.
Thank
like,
you.
No.
No,
Please.
I'm watching this shit right now. I'm watching this shit right now. If I missed if I had watched the first hour of Endgame and then the world started to end and I found a secret bunker and I should tell my family about the secret bunker, fuck my family. I'm watching the Endgame first.
I gotta know.
That's kind of how I feel about Grand Theft Auto 5 or 6 coming out in 2025.
We just gotta make it, Royden.
Yeah. I gotta somehow keep this heart pumping until then, but
yeah, I'm fine with that part of it. Like her watching the Friends finale. The thing I hate is like it's just a war, and they just tell us a war is happening, and we're just done. Like I die. Like dude, like something happened. Like you know what I'm saying?
I will say that because Mahershala is obviously parsing out information throughout the movie, and he's withholding it, which becomes an issue not only with the White family but also with like his daughter. He's withholding certain information. I will say that would have annoyed the shit out of me, but Mahershala is so fucking good. He makes everything so much better than it should be. I'm
saying the cast elevates this entire thing for me. That's
very true.
It's fine, but like the ends don't justify the means.
See, that's where we diverge. But I like what Mahershala is doing when he has the scene with Julia Roberts, and then she goes to like walk away, and they're all on good terms, and he grabs her to tell her like the part about the big, basically the big world controlling guy that he knows, which is a very stupid way to write that scene and a very dumb way to get this piece of information. And he doesn't even say the guy's name. Like that's so stupid. But because Mahershala is so fucking locked in, I hung off every goddamn word of it. I was like, oh my God, his friend basically forecasted this. Oh shit, everything is bad. I was so locked in, and I saw the flaws in the writing. I saw where we were drawing things out to keep things from the audience. But because of the performances in the movie, I did not give a shit. I didn't give a shit that Mahershala was withholding information because every time he spoke, it was like fucking manna to my ears. That man is so goddamn talented. I don't know why he's not in more movies. I don't know why we don't see him on screen more. I'm very happy that he's going to be Blade. And I know, whatever script that they hand him, he's going to make a letter grade better because he's in it. And I just loved his performance. He's so, the way he deals with the White family, which is not the way that I would have dealt with the White family, is so good. And he just plays it so well. Mahaila is great in everything. She's just like completely good. When she makes, when she tells her dad that like the son is jacking off to her and the dad would have fucked her, like that to me was hilarious. I laughed out loud when she said that.
Yeah, that was great.
I agree with you that the cast definitely elevated what was on the script, but between his sense of skill, his sense of style, and Sam Esmail, that's what I'm saying, his sense of skill, his sense of style, and his sense of what it's supposed to look like on screen with that cast, I thought we had something winning. I can't give it an A+ because I felt the flaws of the script, but the flaws of the script didn't mean shit to me because I was having the time of my life. I just thought it was a great piece of filmmaking, and I'm going to remember that ship scene for the rest of my life. I've literally never seen anything like that before, ever. That was so cool.
I will say two things. Even though y'all don't like that song, Julia Roberts dancing is hilarious.
Iconic.
Obviously, white mom.
I love that scene. That scene is awesome. The song.
Thank you to Sam Esmail for giving us sexual tension between Julia Roberts and Mahershala Ali. You did that for us, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Yeah. Congratulations. Just two hot people being hot near each other. It's really cool. But also, when Mahershala stumbles onto the beach looking for stuff, and he picks up the watch and it has the arm attached to it, how did he not see the rest of the plane crash?
I thought that exactly.
There was literally a plane crash all around him. He did not see it.
I was just like,
you
we're
literally
suspending
cannot miss
disbelief.
it. It's like, oh wow, there's a watch peeking out of the sand. That's weird. Like maybe there's a body buried under the sand. No, the body is literally right next to it, like above the ground, like
right there.
Why didn't you see it?
I was just
And
like,
also, your wife is dead because every plane seems to be crashing
Your wife
right
is
here on
definitely
the
dead,
beach
bro.
that you're on. She's
Wife
gone.
definitely dead, dog.
She's
Sorry.
gone.
oh man.
Tough
Anyway,
break.
Tough break.
chalk it up to the game, you know.
Yeah. Julia Roberts here now.
Yeah, I bet you could fight Ethan Hawke, you know.
Yeah. He's out there begging and crying. Look at him.
I don't have anything else. D-. Never watched
This is
this movie
crazy.
again.
This is insane.
Never watching it again.
Royden really hated it. He didn't have any fun.
I'm never watching it again. But
Waste of my time.
I
gotta
might watch
give it a
that
C+
shit again
because
tonight.
there's a lot of cool shit in it. It just didn't go anywhere. Even like at the beginning where he's like, "Oh, there's this chick Taylor at another place who's really hot that I want to like go meet up with." Then he asks about her again later.
I thought that was funny. He's like, "You think Taylor's okay?" He's like,
Taylor's
"What?"
okay?
Yeah, it's
Who?
like, what was that for? Like, why do we need that? I don't think we did. We could have cut.
I
cut a
think
few
there's a
minutes
lot of. I think there's a lot of stuff in here that shows them just like how like unaware or unserious they think the situation is. You know, there's a lot of that like yuppie white people have never gotten out of New York thing and
They
going
just
on in
assume
there.
everything's gonna be okay. Like the whole time, they're just like, "No, it'll probably be fun. Like we're probably good." And it's like, "You're not good, bros. You're not good. A lot of things are happening that shows you you're not good. There should not be flamingos in upstate New York in your fucking pool. That should never happen. It should never ever happen."
Also,
I just didn't really get the whole animals thing. Like, why do the animals know about war? Why, for what? Like,
I don't know. Something to do with whatever radiation or whatever they were putting off into the air was like changing the behavioral patterns of animals. I think
that's why the kid's teeth was coming out, right? That's the radiation because they don't confirm the radiation until right when we see the bombs dropping. And
or that was what Kevin Bacon's theory on it was. It could be that he just like had severe Lyme disease or something like that. But that's not what happens with Lyme disease. Your teeth don't fall
They don't
out.
even say what kind of medicine they're giving him. Kevin Bacon's just like, "Yeah, I got some medicine. Yeah, I got some medicine to fix that." I'm like,
these blue pills, put your teeth right back.
Yeah, what? Yeah, what? Like.
Also, shout out to the directorial choice or the costuming choice of having Kevin Bacon wear a Cowboys hat on Long Island.
Perfect.
America's team, baby.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah. Also, shout out to that random Hispanic lady we just left on the street.
Selling it.
Literally just left her there.
Yeah, that has been Leave the World Behind. You want to talk about the next? I think we'll probably talk about this one a little bit less, but it is nonetheless interesting, or just as interesting, maybe even more.
It's a good film.
Y'all are going first on this one because I got some. You want to talk about a D-? I got a D- for you.
Oh, wow. All right. That has been Leave the World Behind. We are moving on. Hard cut to May, December. Came out before Leave the World Behind. Rated R movie, hour 57 minutes long, 7.0 on IMDb. The number 2 trending popularity movie overall on IMDb. 20 years after their notorious tabloid romance, that's an interesting word to call it, gripped the nation, a married couple buckles under pressure when an actress arrives to do research for a film about their past. 85 Metascore. Todd Haynes, written by Sammy Birch and Alex Mechanic. Stars Natalie Portman in like her first role since Thor: Love and Thunder, I think.
Yeah, I think so. First one I've seen her in.
She is just not in movies, you know?
She's rich.
Yeah, I guess that.
She's in less stuff than Julia Roberts. Like, she never pops up.
Julianne Moore and Charles Melton, who I believe was in, what was he? Riverdale, like 91 episodes of Riverdale.
Oh,
and now he's going to be nominated for an Oscar, which is fucking nuts. By the way, Dex, the girl in the last movie, the daughter, was the daughter from Logan Lucky. I just thought I should remind you of that.
Oh, shit!
Yeah. So, anyway, having 2 revelations on here. So, this movie, of course, made no money. It may have played in some theaters in the West Coast. But, it's made $552,000 worldwide. $20 million budget. I guess they probably would have made money on this if they would have put it out in theaters for sure. 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. And let's see what the audience score is. 71%, so down, but not as far down as the last one. Swaddling. It's difficult fact-based story in a blanket of campy humor. I don't know how much of that there is anyway, but May
Yeah,
December
I don't
is
know.
seductively discomforting watch. A seductively discomforting watch. Dex, go ahead.
I really like this movie. I we talked about this off pod, but yeah, I grew up just knowing the Mary Kay Letourneau story. So like that's immediately the vibe I got watching this movie. I hadn't seen a trailer or anything. I just heard people talking
Turns
about.
out, that's what it is.
Yeah, I hadn't seen a trailer or anything. Hadn't read like what the movie was about. I just saw people being like, "Oh, you got to watch May December with Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore. It's on Netflix." I was like, "Cool, I'll watch it." So I turn it on, and I'm like, "Oh, this is big Mary Kay Letourneau vibes. Oh, real. Like we're doing like actual Mary Kay Letourneau shit. Okay." So yeah, it works for me. The only thing that kind of threw me off was finding out after I watched it that this was supposed to be like a dark comedy, or that people were saying it's like it has campy humor or whatever. I didn't get that at all.
Were you
Other
not
than
laughing when you were watching?
no, other than like the Lifetime music was like the only funny thing to me.
The
I
hot dog line, and the rest of it is just like, ooh, this is dark.
Yeah, like the hot dog line happens. I literally tweeted that out laughing about it, and like the music hit right after that. But beyond that, I just
That was the moment I knew that I was watching a comedy. When the hot dog line comes and then the music comes, I was like, oh, okay, this is a comedy. We're satiring the Lifetime movie era and like the true crime. We're satirizing that. Okay, it's a comedy. And I knew
yeah,
that, but I didn't laugh
I got that
ever.
that was a bit like that was funny, but like the rest of the movie isn't. You know, at least not to me. Like I maybe if I watched it again, like I'd be like, oh yeah, like they're making fun of whatever. Like I get it, but it just wasn't funny. But I thought Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore both gave phenomenal performances. I think they're both like really creepy in their own ways. Julianne Moore obviously being a pedophile, like she is the much creepier one, but Natalie Portman being like this weird Hollywood actress, so you're like, would you also have been a pedophile? Like you're really into like this method acting shit that you're doing right now. Don't like it. I thought that really worked. What's his name? Charles
Charles
Melton.
Melton.
Charles Melton. He's phenomenal. He goes through a lot in this movie. Obviously a lot to deal with being, a victim of what he was a victim of, and then kind of having to balance all of that throughout your adult life and your adult relationship, and now you have adult kids, and it's like, well, is my entire life built on being a victim? It is. So what does that mean? I think that's really cool and a really interesting way of looking at this story. And I think that's probably the thing that I was most impressed by with this movie is that it's hard to take a story like the Mary Kay Letourneau story. Like I said, I grew up just knowing it and having seen documentaries about it, seeing the Lifetime movie about it. Like it's hard to find new ways to look at that situation. And Todd Haynes did. It's really cool to, come at this being like, oh, when you make it into a movie 20 years later, what does that mean? What does that look like? When Mary Kay Letourneau has children with this man who she met as a boy and like took advantage of as a boy, like becoming an adult, what does that mean for him? They got divorced in real life, so obviously it weighed on him a lot. And then she died of cancer recently, rest in piss.
Oh, damn.
But
Oh darn.
rest in piss. But yeah, like it's a lot to think about and a lot to deal with, and I like how this movie tackled it. I give it an A. I'd give it an A plus if it was funnier and I got more of the dark comedy that it's supposed to be giving. But I really like this movie.
Yeah, to me, the dark comedy, and I'll just go Teach because I feel like you're going to rip it a new one.
Yes, I
But
want you to go.
to me, the dark comedy in it to me is like the satirization of actors satirization of Hollywood and just how sort of weird and like uncomfortable Natalie Portman actually is in this movie. It's unlike a character that I think I've seen her play maybe since I haven't seen Black Swan, but I know of Black Swan and the stuff surrounding that movie and sort of what that's all about. And I've seen clips of Black Swan. So
You
maybe
haven't seen Black Swan?
I'm not a huge Aronofsky guy, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I haven't seen
That's
Black
fair.
Swan either.
Aronofsky be on some bullshit. I don't blame you for that.
But also, I didn't want to. I heard that people get their fingernails pulled out in that, and I never wanted to.
Yeah,
watch
it's
it.
gross,
So,
man. Gnarly.
But this is unlike a character that we've seen her play in a long time, because she just isn't in movies. You know, she's focused on doing other things and purchasing a soccer team and like being a mother and just being in perfume ads and things like that. Because, like you said, Dex, she's rich. Who gives a fuck? But you kind of forget how like awesome of an actress she is.
Yeah, she's become underrated. It's kind of crazy.
And also how strikingly beautiful
Portman
she is.
or Julianne Moore?
Portman.
I think the reason why the role works, if you think the role works, is because some people think that Natalie Portman is bad. I have never thought that. I think that she's great.
No.
But some people think Natalie Portman is bad. Like a lot of people think Natalie Portman is bad.
Feels like a
Star Wars nerds think she's bad.
Star Wars nerds think she's horrible.
It feels like a commentary on her commenting on like what actors are and what people think actors are and the stuff that they go through for roles. And we're led to believe that she's kind of like a B-list actress really trying to elevate herself, because they make comments about like, oh, she's on TV, or I loved you in like Animal Doctor or whatever it is.
Yeah, they're like, you were on this like very shitty TV show that I love, and she was like, I hate that shit. Don't talk to me about that.
Yeah, but so I think it's a really interesting comment on actors and on how we go about this stuff and what we choose to publicize. Because like you were saying, this whole story is unreal. When I went down the rabbit hole, how much of this they just played out in the media. They just like sold
crazy.
They just sold their wedding to Entertainment Tonight, and everyone in America was like, sure, yeah, why not?
She co-authored a book from prison with the child she molested.
It's unreal. And everybody was like, yeah, sure, we'll play this out in real time. The only thing that I've seen like going back against her was that Australian news clipping or whatever that they kind of insert into the movie. Not kind of, they do, but in a different form. And that one guy was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what the fuck is wrong with you?
But I think there's an interesting comment on how we let this stuff play out in society. I think it's all three of the main characters are a really interesting look at Arrested Development in different ways. Obviously, one of the characters, Charles Melton, plays for way different reasons and for more appropriate reasons, I imagine, that he had Arrested Development. But it's interesting to see how that played out. It's also interesting to see like a guy who like doesn't look that much older than who are supposed to be his kids in this movie.
Yeah,
because he has a kid. Because he has a kid in college.
Yeah, he looks so young. I got them confused at one point. Like that, he's that young looking. Like him and his son, I got them confused. I was like, wait, and I was like, oh,
because like him and his oldest kid are like 13, 14.
13. It would be 13 years apart. Yeah,
because me and my little brother are 9 years apart. Like it's like crazy.
I also think it's purposeful that they cast such a young actor to play that role, even though he's in his 30s. He just appears incredibly young.
He played a teenager on Riverdale for 5 years, or not 5 years, 7 years. So, but like, I just think the acting is really spectacular. I like Todd Haynes. Like one of the, I've only seen a few of his movies, but the last one I watched was Dark Waters, which is an incredible movie. If you haven't watched it, came out a few years ago. I watched it during the pandemic. It'll make you rethink what is in your house. I'll just say that. But Todd Haynes taking a chance and doing this movie the way he did, and with the Lifetime score over it, and this is sort of satirizing the Lifetime movie. I really enjoyed it. I don't know where I stand with it because, like, yes, the humor does fall short, and eventually it gets really melodramatic and kind of hard to watch and like just like not having a good time, to say the least. Especially when Charles Melton's crying, like, "Am I a good dad?" Sort of stuff. Like, oof, big oof. But Natalie Portman delivers one of the hardest lines I've ever heard in an entire movie, where she's like, "Because that's what adults do," or whatever.
This is what grown-ups do.
It's what grown-ups do. Is all time. I'm at a B+ right now. This is going to get an awards love. Obviously, I think Charles Melton will be. I think all 3 actors will be nominated. It'll be interesting to see what they put. It'll be interesting to see what they put Julianne Moore in, because
I don't think Julianne Moore is going to be nominated, but I think
subject of
Portman
the movie,
and the other guy will.
She's not in the movie. She's like in 39 minutes of the movie.
Who? Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really a movie about that character. Like,
no,
she's not really about her.
Which is probably a good choice. Anyway, she's also doing this really weird list thing that I didn't catch on until the very end of the movie. I'm like, have you been doing that the entire time? But
also, like, obviously she's weird for like the pedophile reasons, but like she's just so fucking weird in this movie. Like, just the way she talks and the way she looks at people, the way she like snaps at people, like she's just so disturbing, but like you can't look away from it. It's awesome.
So yeah, that is my review. Tej. Here we go.
So I definitely agree with parts of what both of you said. The one thing I agree with the most that y'all said is that this is a comedic movie that literally isn't funny. And I don't mean not funny in the laugh out loud way. I mean not even funny in the, oh, that's interesting kind of way. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. Obviously, we're satirizing an actor and an actor's process. We're satirizing America's obsession with true crime and like a scandal. I didn't know anything about this particular real life story. I had no context of that. So I wasn't necessarily aware of where we were going as I was watching the movie play out until they kind of spelled it out, like why this movie they're making in the film, why they were making this movie in the background of it. And I'll admit my own biases up front. This is the same thing I've said on this podcast before about the movie Call Me by Your Name. And this is even a worse version of that because this is supposed to be quote unquote funny. There are parts of the Natalie Portman thing that really work for me. If you're just going through an actor's process and how ridiculous it is that she's asking all these people around this story these questions and then prying into their life, when the real thing that we're talking about is literally an act of abuse. Like that stuff on paper probably is funny, and Portman's doing a great, really awkward, really weird performance of a bad actress. The way that you get the payoff at the end where she's doing the monologue is just such a cool thing because the monologue's not even good. It's actually incredibly bad, and we went through all this to get this. Like this is what it took to get this output, which was a shitty monologue.
Was she also getting off at the same time?
I think so too, and I think that she was. That's part
there's
of
like a weird vibrating going on in the very back of and she like throws her head back or whatever, and I'm like, ooh,
there are parts of the Portman performance that I find very interesting. I don't know why she had to get off in the pet store, which was super weird and not funny and just cringe to me because of the subject matter of why she was getting off. I literally cannot tell you right now why she ends up, spoiler alert, sleeping with our subject, like the guy, the grown man, but like the little boy. Like, I don't understand why they ever slept together. This is what grown-ups do. Felt like, okay, like with Natalie Portman, is she like in character? Is she envisioning a 7th grader? Like, is she doing this act? And that's why she says this is what grown-ups do. There's some of that stuff that works, but some of it, I just could not clear the hurdle. There's a big hurdle to get into this movie. And I totally understand why people like it. But the hurdle you have to clear is that you have to kind of look away from the fact that we're talking about abuse to see the underlying commentary. And I just could not get out of the way of that. I couldn't. Same thing with Call Me by Your Name. I could not accept the movie for what it was because I couldn't get over the initial hurdle of the fact that this is an abusive relationship with an old person and a young person, and I'm supposed to ignore that or internalize that or put it to the side so I can enjoy what the film's trying to say. I couldn't do that here. I literally could not. I like Julianne Moore a lot. Every time she was on screen, I was completely grossed out. I don't know or understand or like the character arc that we take the male on. I don't get it. Maybe I'm just a dumb person, but I literally don't get what we were trying to go for there with the whole thing of him worried about being a good dad and him breaking down and crying to this person who's then victimizing him in a way by putting him in a sexual position and then basically shitting on him. Like, it's not funny enough to work. I'm too grossed out for it to work. I appreciate the Portman performance. I like Natalie Portman. I don't think that they gave Julianne Moore much to do. I agree that she was weird as shit, but like Julianne Moore is one of the best actresses in her age group for sure. I totally get why people like it. I totally get why it's going to be receive awards, but I completely hated it. I hated every second of watching this film. Like literally every second. I had to give it a D. It's not a bad movie. Like the filmmaking, the Lifetime music, I get why it's there. It's extremely annoying, but it's really effective at what it's trying to show you or what it's trying to satirize. And I got it immediately. I literally said in the chat, as soon as the music hit for the first time, I said in our chat, what is this fucking fake ass Lifetime music? Like, I totally understood the reference. My mom was obsessed with Lifetime movies, and Lifetime movies were literally obsessed with these kind of scandalous, very scandalous things. People getting murdered, people sleeping with kids, like these scandalized things that America globs onto were pretty much made up the entirety of what was happening on the Lifetime network. So I totally understood the niche in which they're satirizing.
Woman murders husband next on Lifetime.
Basically, and it totally resonated with me immediately what they were trying to do. I think that the idea on paper is probably much better than the execution, just because I felt queasy the whole time. And I have an appreciation for the Portman performance, and I have appreciation for the stuff about making fun of stupid actors and what we think they are versus what they think they are and what they actually are. I think that stuff's good. That stops me from giving it an F, but I have to give it a D because everything else, it just did nothing for me. And I just felt gross and queasy watching the film. It's going to be rewarded. I get it. And I actually like some of his other stuff. I like Dark Waters a lot. And I think this was, like Royden said, a very novel way to approach this particular subject matter. Like, you give this 100 other directors a shot at making a movie about that underlying real life event, and no one's making May December. No one. This when you want to see a novel movie, you want to see shit that you've never seen before. This is a film that you've never seen before. It is completely novel. I've never quite seen a movie even close to like it. That being said, I couldn't get into it, but I do appreciate a swing, even though my stomach was turned by it. I will say that I've never seen a movie like May December before, and I probably will never again. And so I give him props for that. I'm gonna go a D plus. I don't know if you can do a D plus, but I'm gonna go a D plus.
Yeah, I will say my stomach was also turned by it, but like in a good way. Like I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, that feels like it's purposeful versus something that's like, I can't really think of an example, but there's some shit that I watch and I'm like, that's just gross and weird and I don't like it. Like Bo is Afraid. Licorice Pizza. Yeah, that's just gross and weird and dumb.
Yeah, I think the one-to-one of that is Licorice Pizza because you said how much you hate that. And I can probably
fuck that movie.
I can probably tell you why. And I can completely understand if you cannot get into this story due to the subject matter and how completely gross and dark that is. And if like the true crime thing is not your thing, this is even more insidious than like true crime because true crime
more insidious
is like a mom, a woman murders her husband or whatever. That's like what normally that is. And we're so
desensitized to murder in a way that we're not. Yeah. I totally
like not to yada yada murder, but you get what I'm saying. The thing with this is. And I completely understand if you can't get into the subject matter. We're thrown into their adult lives, and that is a longer runway than if we saw the origins of the story, which you kind of do the Lifetime movie that they're playing on Natalie Portman's screen or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, it gives you a longer runway for you to like relate to these characters, is an odd way of saying it. But to insert yourselves into their lives like Natalie Portman is doing. Whereas with like Licorice Pizza, Dex, you were like, that is the story. That's
the whole movie.
The 20-year-old is hanging out with a 15-year-old.
The movie plays it straight. Like that's just like a normal thing that you should just accept is happening. And then you're supposed to like that it's happening. Like that's the happy ending. It's that they get together. this child and this like grown woman, and this movie is not that.
I definitely agree that if you have Licorice Pizza and Call Me by Your Name on one end, where you're supposed to watch the movie straight up, and the fact that there's a weird dynamic in terms of age, you're supposed to just basically it's like a subtext. This movie wants you to look at the abuse. It's in your face. So the filmmaker is aware of the fact that he doesn't want you to root for their union, and he doesn't want you to root for the abuse. He's actually putting it in front of you saying, look how gross this is, and look how it got sensationalized in a way to where it became palatable. So I saw what he was trying to do, and I do agree that this is very different than those films for that reason alone. It's way more intentional about what it's supposed to make you feel, as opposed to here's a straight love story, and you might feel weird about the ages of these people, but I didn't because I made the movie anyway. Licorice Pizza. He's putting it in your face. He's actually slapping you with it. He's like, look how disgusting this is. But it wasn't treated as disgusting. It was treated as scandal. And when it became scandal, it was something other than abuse. And, because this wasn't a traditional man abusing a young woman, we looked at it differently and we treated it as scandal and not as abuse. So he was aware of that and he was intentional about that. And I don't begrudge him for making the film at all. I don't. I begrudge the fact that Licorice Pizza exists. It should not exist.
Yeah, it shouldn't exist.
I don't begrudge this filmmaker for making this film. I think it's a very interesting way to try to make a film about this topic. I think I could not get over the fact that they were making a film about this topic. I couldn't clear the hurdle. I wish I could have. I could have enjoyed it more, but I literally couldn't clear the hurdle.
I think the thing that makes it different, both different and better for me, is like you just said, like obviously it's not playing it straight up, but I think it's a commentary on things that I haven't seen commented on before in a movie. Like, because it's a real life story. The kid, I forget his name.
Charlie?
No, the real life
in
kid.
real life, yeah.
Oh,
Vinny or Finney or something like that. Something Annie. Vinny Falau, maybe. He he was abused by this woman. She got pregnant, had multiple children by him while in prison, and then like she got out of prison, he went and raised these children with her, and it's like, that's fucked up. I've never seen a movie like stop and think about that at all. That's kind of like at the end of the Lifetime movie or at the end of the true crime documentary, they throw that in, like she got out of prison, and it's the text at the end. Yeah. She got out of prison. They raised children together, blah, blah, blah. They got divorced. She died of cancer, whatever. But it's like I've never seen anyone like stop and think about like what that means, what that looks like, what that does to you as a father when people are making a movie about how the relationship you're in, that you've been in your entire life pretty much, is the worst thing to ever happen and shouldn't have happened. And all of your kids shouldn't have happened. Like your kids that you love and have raised and like, you do your best for, you're like, what the fuck? Like, this is like super fucked up. You're a victim. None of this should have ever happened. Like she should die. All of you like are victims, I thought it was cool to see Todd Haynes like put that in a movie, make that the movie instead of it just being the text at the end of the other movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't have much more to comment on it. I think we've all touched the points. I just think there's some really brilliant, like awkward moments in here. It's really interesting how everyone doesn't really have anything bad to say about her when they go and interview her. It's like, oh, that shit happened. That's crazy. And she's just like a person about in the community. The weirdest like aggressions come from her kid, but also when like her old husband,
later her husband.
Yeah, her old husband and his new family meet them at the restaurant. That is the most awkward, tense shit that I've seen in forever. And I was just like, uncomfy.
I cannot believe that when they go, and obviously this is intentional, when she goes to interview the ex-husband, we're just having a conversation really about her cheating. We're not really having a conversation about her literally abusing a boy. It's like, well, we were happy. I didn't really know. Like, I was having a great time. And it's like, yeah, but this isn't a conversation about cheating. This is a conversation about abuse. And the way that it's framed, it's such an astute observation from the director to see how does something become scandalized to where you can put this wedding on TV and people will watch it? Because we all know what happened. How does it become that? It doesn't just happen and then all of a sudden it becomes scandal. We make it that by making those small concessions. Everybody in the town's just buying cakes from her when they don't even fucking like her cakes. And like there's all these small concessions that people are making. Yeah, cakes are trash. And people are just doing it because she's like a public figure. Like, it's a very astute observation that this is what happens in these really scandalized things with true crime. But I just think this works so much better if the crime is a murder. And that's because of me and my desensitization to like true crime in that vein. I've watched a ton of that stuff. So the messaging makes so much more sense to me if we're dealing with a murderer, if this is O.J. Simpson instead of this lady who fucked a kid. If this is like the O.J. Simpson story,
that is also
so much better
a movie
for me.
I would watch.
We watched the whole crime series on it. I don't know. 10-hour documentary that won an Oscar.
That's played straight. That's like if he was doing it in the same voice. Like, there's an actor who's gonna play OJ, and he's asking around, and everybody's like, "Yeah, we fucking love OJ. He was a hero," and blah blah blah. It's like OJ brutally murdered his lover and her lover.
For 2,000 yards. He's fucking awesome.
So I saw what he was trying to make, and I can have some appreciation for the thought process behind it. And it's a very, very cool way to approach making a movie. But because of the underlying subject matter, I could not clear the hurdle. I just couldn't. I was so grossed out every time that she, and I probably would be less grossed out, but it probably doesn't make the performance as good if she doesn't sleep with the guy. But by the time she started sleeping with the guy, I was completely grossed out. I was like, yuck, because he's literally in a moment of crisis. He literally is like, my marriage is going to fall apart. I don't know if I'm a good father. And in that moment is when
butterflies are flying away.
I could not get over the abuse part. I have a very strong stomach for a lot of gross stuff on screen, but I will acknowledge that one of my weak points in terms of my stomach, quote unquote, is like issues of rape or issues of like child abuse. That stuff is always, I can never just watch the movie with that stuff in there. I can never just like, I saw the vision, but I could not appreciate the vision.
Wow, Teej, you can't watch a movie with rape in it? What's wrong with you, dude?
Yeah. And the last Duel showed like 19 rapes. They were just like, yeah, but how about we just show more of it? How about we just show you more of this rape? Like more and more and more.
Definitely cannot fault you for that. But
like The Lovely Bones, do you remember that movie?
Yes.
I remember hearing about it. I haven't watched
it.
That is I cannot watch that movie. So I get what you're saying. Where I'm like, if that is the subject matter of the movie, I'm usually like, I'm out. But for some reason here, I think because they threw you into like a suburban household on an island in North Carolina or wherever they are, wherever they got the tax break to film the movie, then it worked better for me, I think. And also we have people like that are super trustworthy filmmakers and actors making the movie, so the buy-in is a lot easier, I think.
Also, there's one scene I just have to fucking talk about when she's like, who was in charge? And that shit is like literally just from American no interview.
I mentioned
my
with the Australian
mind, dude. Holy shit. That was, I can't believe they let this, like they didn't let her get away with it. Like, she went to prison, but like, what?
What?
This shit doesn't. You watch it now and you're like, how the fuck did this happen? What?
She legitimately is like, he came out to me. He was in control the whole time. It's like, yeah, he was 12. Like, what are you talking about?
Like, why would you say that to someone? Like, what? Like, on TV? Like, we can hear you.
We failed as America. We really failed. We, like, not to get existential on here. What the fuck were we doing, man?
What the fuck were we doing?
What's the time period of this? Is this the 90s? Is this the 80s? When was the scandal happening?
90s, yeah.
I think,
yeah. I'm glad. I literally have no recollection of this story, and then I just can't like. But again, you could pull something from the headlines from 2023 that people sensationalized, and I'm sure that it can get just as nasty. But holy fucking shit, man! Holy shit! If there's one thing that we shouldn't all make a spectacle of in a scandal of, it's like literal child abuse, but. They turned her into a public figure, and it's just so nasty.
Well, she also comes from like a really prominent family, right? They're like their real subject matter, where like they're people were like legal counsel for like the the Bush administration or something like that.
Yeah, her family's been involved in politics. I don't remember exactly the particulars, but
Anyway, that's neither here nor
yeah,
there. Talking
her
about the
dad was a member of the California State Senate.
Oh, okay. I was far off. I was really far off, but that's crazy.
And also in the House of Representatives of the United States. So
May, December, will get nominated for some awards. It's already been nominated for some awards, which we're about to talk right now. You watch both those movies on Netflix. Go check them out.
Real quick,
yeah.
do we know what the fuck the title May December is in reference to?
I have no idea.
Did I miss that? Okay.
No idea. Okay, glad we're all on
I literally had no idea.
on cue there.
I don't know.
Golden Globe nominations.
It makes it easier when you say the title of the movie in the movie, like Leave the World Behind does. That's real simple.
Right,
You
yeah,
say the title in the movie.
You
say it
look
in the first 5
camera
minutes.
and say May, December.
I just Googled it, and apparently it's an age-old term for an amorous relationship between two people with a considerable age difference.
What?
Oh, I made
Never
okay,
heard
got
it.
it. So it's like if a 40-year-old and an 18-year-old are dating, we can say a May December.
Because
Yeah,
of this.
apparently.
Never
Yeah.
heard. All right.
Never heard that term before.
Golden Globes. Interesting news with the Golden Globes. The Hollywood Foreign Press Association is no more. They said, after allegations or not even allegations, racism and misogyny and abuse and several other things going on with that organization. You can read up on it on Wikipedia, I'm sure. They're no longer in charge of the Golden Globes. The Golden Globes have also, I think they were purchased by a media company who run Deadline and Vulture and Hollywood Reporter. They all own, it's on one big conglomerate, owns all the Hollywood Reporting websites that we all know and love, and that Discussing Film tweets out hourly. Anyway, it has moved to a new home from, I believe, on NBC to CBS, home of all your parents' favorite shows.
And Paramount Plus, don't forget.
And Paramount Plus. So it is on.
And Young Sheldon.
And Young Sheldon. Those people are getting paid, man. Anyway, Best Director. So this will be on in like 23 days, apparently, which is crazy.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Best Director in a Motion Picture. A lot of some of these movies we're just gonna not have seen because fuck us, right? They
They're
just
not
don't
out
come
yet.
out.
Yeah.
Like
Do you know when this? Do you know when this show airs? By the way, do you know when this the Golden Globes airs?
23
really
days
close.
from now.
I'm pretty sure it airs at literally the same exact time as the national championship game. I'm pretty sure.
No!
I was gonna watch the actual fucking Golden Globes. Golden Globes, you can kiss my fucking ass if it's actually on that time. That I can confirm that while you're reading the nominees. But that's disgusting. Give me a fucking chance to watch the Golden Globes at least. Just give me a chance.
All-time fumble by them if they think people are going to watch the Golden Globes over.
Yeah, we're absolutely not doing that. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
No. It's on November. Wait, what? No, that's not. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Hold on. Golden Globes 2024 will be on January 7th, 2024.
Okay, no, I think the national championship game is on the 9th.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Sorry, Golden Globes. I take that back. I will be watching. I'll be seated no matter what.
All right. Okay, so Best Director in a Motion Picture. Bradley Cooper for Maestro, which fuck us. We just haven't seen it.
Does it exist? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's coming to
Netflix. We will all be able to see it, but I'm going to try to see it in the movie theater. But it's not fucking out yet, so we can't see it yet. But it was nominated.
He's already campaigning. Celine Song for Past Lives. I love that.
Cinema.
Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. Greta
Rules.
Gerwig for
Real
Barbie. Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon. And Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, which, fuck us, we haven't seen it. No one has, so that's great.
I'm
all
going to tell you
the
right
ones
now,
of those that I've
Yorgos
seen
doesn't
are
miss.
good.
I'm going to tell you right now, Yorgos doesn't miss. We don't need to see it to know that it's a masterpiece.
We may talk about the killing of a sacred deer later.
Incredible.
How many
cinema.
movies did you just name? 6?
6.
Yeah, 6.
4 of those
Oscars
are
is
real
only
cinema,
5.
and 2 of those will be real cinema once we see them, but we haven't seen them yet.
Oscars is only 5. That's interesting. You know
Yeah.
what? Probably gets Celine's song is probably going to be out, but
Yorgos is out too. He's not even trending in any of the Vegas odds in terms of best director. Yorgos is not going to be in the best director category.
people have really like Poor Things was like the front runner forever, and then it kind of is slow played and come out, and everybody's like, "Eh."
Yeah, a lot of the critics are like, or a lot of critics have actively disliked it. But he makes he makes movies
All the
that
critics I see to fucking love that movie.
he makes movies that just don't generally appeal to everyone, except for The Lobster. The Lobster was the movie he made. Everybody fucking loved it. Everything else, and The Favorite.
Oh, The Favorite.
Everybody loved The Favorite. So we'll see.
Best motion picture animated, The Boy and the Heron, which
Oh.
I still have to try and see. Elemental, sure.
Sure, it's fine.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, this
The
is a
Super-
layup. This is a
The
layup.
Super Mario Bros. Movie, which made $1 billion, so they
Okay,
had to
wait.
nominate it.
Okay, that's also great.
Suzume, which is another Japanese film, I believe. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it has crazy reviews, like 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, so
And-
was The Boy and the Heron, and Dex told us it was ass.
Yeah.
And Wish, which Dex has actually seen as well, too.
I'm surprised that got nominated.
Doesn't
for
everybody
anything.
hate Wish? How did that get nominated?
Everyone except me. I like it, but
It's trending to get nominated for the Oscars, and that just doesn't seem.
How? Everybody hated it.
It had
Well,
like a
there-
50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
were there only 5 animated movies?
Yeah, we have to nominate Disney's movie. No, you don't. I promise. There's other stuff.
Dex is the only person I heard say that it was good. Everybody else hated it.
It's got a 48% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Oof. That was
81%
fascinating.
audience score, but
Best motion picture drama. Anatomy of a Fall, which fuck me, we haven't seen. You know, they just haven't put
that
it
did
out.
come out near me. I just
Wait,
didn't
it's
get
out
to it.
though. Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't
it-
seen it either, but it's out.
Killers of the Flower Moon, Past Lives, The Zone of Interest, which really
Hasn't
won't
come out yet.
release. Yeah, until
Apparently,
like
Zone of
January.
Interest is incredible, but also
Yeah.
not out yet.
Won't release until January or February in the United States.
I will be there no matter what.
Maestro and Oppenheimer. So notably, a lot of people have commented like, "Wait, The Holdovers is in comedy." So interesting that Oppenheimer and Past Lives have sort of carried this momentum. Those came out so long ago.
Past
I'm
Lives came out in the
not
summer.
surprised by Oppenheimer at all because like that was
I mean, that
one
was the
half
A
of
movie.
movie
Yeah.
event, and it was huge.
but Past
Yeah.
Lives like just kind of if it felt like it came and went like
Yeah,
when
how
it
did
came out, but
obviously we are in a new era of the Golden Globes, but Past Lives is not a Golden Globes movie, like at all. The fact that everybody at the Golden Globes has seen Past Lives and it is itself incredible, but the fact that they've actually nominated is more incredible because Past Lives is not a traditional Golden Globes movie
No.
at all.
Best motion picture, musical, or comedy, which this is the one that may actually get contentious. Air is nominated. American Fiction, which just
Air has
hasn't-
no Oscar buzz whatsoever, but
Zero. It
Air is
fell
good.
so
It's
flat.
literally none.
American Fiction, which also hasn't like come out. Barbie, The Holdovers, May December, and Poor Things. Notably not nominated. The musical, The Color Purple.
Yep.
yeah,
Literally a
that
musical.
feels like a miss to me. I haven't seen every movie in this category because they all haven't come out yet, but yeah, The Color Purple is awesome, and I'm surprised it's not nominated.
Have you seen the new one?
I have, yeah.
Oh shit! Is that out yet, or did you?
I got to go to a screening.
I
For that
wanted to
one.
see it so bad. I can't wait. The Color Purple.
That was like
the
my
original,
first screening in
great.
so long. It was awesome. It was so good.
Is that a Christmas Day movie?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I
What
will
a
be
fun
there.
time at the theater.
I will be there
Yeah.
no matter what. I'm going to be right at the theater watching The Color Purple.
Fortunately, it is more fun than the original movie, but yeah.
That's a low bar. The original movie is very good, but not very fun. Not very fun
Yeah.
at all.
Best motion picture, non-English language, Anatomy of a Fall, Fallen Leaves, Io Capitano, sure, Past Lives, which feels like category fraud.
Yeah, what?
Past Lives is like 80% in English.
yeah.
Like, how does that happen?
They talk in a foreign language in it, Teed. Shut up. That's basically what they said. It's
The
like,
movie's
we didn't,
literally in New York. Like, what
yeah,
are
like,
we
what are we doing?
we didn't
whole
understand them
thing.
for some of it. So
The whole thing is he comes to New York. That's the movie.
They were on Skype for
That's
a
literally
long
the point of the
time
film.
talking in Korean. Society of Snow in the Zone of Interest. Feels like this may be them giving it to Past Lives as category fraud, but I think Anatomy of a Fall is really gaining a lot of attention.
Everyone
Speaking
who
of true
I've
crime.
heard seen Anatomy of a Fall says it's fucking phenomenal. So
Facts.
Also,
I
I think
gotta
they
get to
speak
it.
English in that movie as well too.
I thought
a
it was
French film.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
it's a French movie, but I don't know what language they're speaking. I haven't.
We
seen
have to see it. Sorry, I know you're listening to this movie podcast for like
The Golden Globes are really deep in the
Apt
movie
analysis.
trenches. That's crazy. The Golden Globes does not go deep in the movie trenches.
no.
So I'm already going to give them props for that, even though I don't know how Wish showed up on anybody's list. That's weird.
Disney, big bucks, Disney. Best original score motion picture: Daniel Pemberton for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Jerskin Vendricks for Poor Things, Joe Hisaishi for Boy and the Heron, Ludwig Göransson for Oppenheimer, Micah Levy for The Zone of Interest, and Robbie Robertson for Killers of the Flower Moon. This kind of feels like, well, Robbie Robertson, rest in peace, may get the posthumous.
Give Robbie everything. That score is fucking perfect, bro. It's perfect.
It goes throughout the entire movie, but I love the Ludwig Göransson score, especially because it's now trending on TikTok. So
Which movie did Ludwig do? Oppenheimer? Yeah. Well, that's also great. That's I can't take anything from that.
Can you see the stars or whatever that is? That build-up song is incredible. Best original song motion picture. Do we care about any of these things? Bruce Springsteen.
I'm
Peaches or one of the Barbie
all
songs.
of the Barbie songs got nominated.
Yeah, like
There's
literally
all of
3
them.
Barbie songs were nominated. That's too much.
Was it? No.
3.
I said Dance the Night, Addicted to Romance by Bruce Springsteen. Oh, yeah, I'm just kidding. Mark Ronson and Andrew Wyatt. Peaches by Jack. That's why we should have.
Yeah, give it to Peaches. Give it to Peaches.
Road to Freedom by Lenny Kravitz and What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish, who is an awards darling now. We kind of forget that Billie Eilish and her brother have an Oscar.
I don't. I think about it all the time. That's why I think they don't need this one. Get them out of here. Give it to
I've
Ryan
only
Gosling.
heard Billie Eilish songs in movies. I don't know anything about her outside of that. I've just heard the movies.
First album's great. Second album, don't care.
Do we want to talk about TV?
No.
Okay.
Dex does it. I can promise you that. The only thing I'll point out is that for best actor, there's like 3 Succession actors in the category. There's only 5 people in there.
Yeah.
3 Succession.
Ali Wong was nominated for Beef, so there's that.
Which doesn't feel like it came out this year somehow. That feels like a
Yeah,
totally
it feels
different part of
divorced
my
from
life.
time and space. Yeah, I agree with that.
I was during the summer and when we didn't have anything to watch, and everybody was like, "Look at this fucking thing."
And then we just like stopped talking about it. We were like, "Oh, that guy's weird. We're done here."
Yeah. Best performance by a female actor, motion picture drama. Annette Bening in Naiad, which is an interesting sort of take on, I believe, what was a true story. Still haven't seen that movie.
What the fuck is Naiad?
That's on Netflix, I think.
I believe it's about a swimmer, a long distance swimmer. Callie Spaney, I believe is how you pronounce her name, for Priscilla, a movie which we balked on seeing, which I feel bad about because I want.
Nope.
You saw it?
No. No. I'm out on all Elvis.
Let me just say, I don't feel bad at all for not saying that movie in theaters.
Oh, okay. Carey Mulligan, as she is one to do, always get nominated for Maestro. Greta Lee, our queen for Past Lives. Lily Gladstone, another queen for Killers of the Flower Moon. And Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall. This feels, even though there's some, I don't know. How do we feel about the whole Lily Gladstone? Is it category fraud? I think she should be lead actress because she's the lead actress of that film. But
wait, is she running as supporting?
No, she's running as the lead. But it's almost like if she was supporting, she probably could have wrapped that shit up months ago. But you know,
I honestly think she still got it wrapped up,
and I think she's gonna win.
She might have it wrapped. I love Greta Lee, man. I thought she was fun. I think Lily Gladstone has like cleared away, but like Greta Lee was so fucking fantastic in that movie.
Yeah.
Wait, this is Greta Lee from Past Lives?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she's great. I just think that the Gladstone thing is bigger, and it's just too good. It's just what Lily was doing is too good. She wasn't even on her feet for a third of the movie, and it still slapped, bro.
Best performance by a female actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Alma Poisty for Fallen Leaves. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing these names wrong. I'm sorry, but
we're gonna get some The Color Purple in this category.
Yeah, Emma Stone for Poor Things. Fantasia Barrino for The Color Purple. Jennifer Lawrence for No Hard Feelings. Hell yeah!
Yeah, there you go.
What nomination right is there. That? What is that?
We're back, baby.
Golden Globes, man.
That's traditional Golden Globes. That's the Golden Globes bullshit we're accustomed to. What the fuck is that? Do you want her at your award show that bad? What are we doing?
Yes,
exactly. She's gonna fall up the stairs and eat pizza. It'd be great.
Margot Robbie for Barbie, which kind of feels like I don't know. Emma Stone. This is gonna be tough. This is a great year for the acting category, by the way, with like star power for like down the board.
Which makes the Jennifer Lawrence thing even worse. And I'm not doing my old Jennifer Lawrence hackneyed rant about how she's not that talented. That film is a piece of it. It is the nothing burger. It is a C.
So many people have watched that movie.
It is a hamburger helper of a meal. Why are we rewarding her for that?
I don't know. Like, what's his face? Like, Jim Carrey used to get nominated for fucking like Ace Ventura. I don't give a fuck. You know.
Okay.
Like,
also, it's the Golden Globes. Like,
also, how many people really saw this movie? What do you mean a lot of people saw this movie?
It's on Netflix. Billions of people have seen this
movie. I didn't even realize it was streaming. Okay, got it.
Yeah. It also made decent money at the box office. But Margot Robbie, Natalie Portman made December. Best Supporting for a female actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. Divine Joy Randolph. Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple. Which is weird that they do the comedy for like the lead actors, but then the supporting actors, y'all got to get
There's
out.
like, yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, I hate that.
Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple. Emily Blunt, Oppenheimer. Jodie Foster, Nyad. Julianne Moore, May December. Rosamund Pike, Saltburn.
I still haven't seen Saltburn. Have you seen that?
No, and I won't.
Dex, have you seen Saltburn?
No.
Why won't you see it?
It sounds gross, honestly.
Oh, well, it does sound very gross. I'm in. I'm gonna see everything that guy does. I'm sorry. I'm just in. He's the weirdest little sicko. Isn't he in Killing of a Sacred Deer? Isn't that him? I think that's the first movie I ever saw him.
Barry Keoghan.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever seen him, and I said, "This little weird fucker is amazing. I'm in. I'm in on this guy."
Rosamund Pike, Saltburn, another Golden Globes-ish nomination, if you will. Best Supporting by a female actor, television. Don't really care about that. Meryl Streep got nominated for Only Murders in the Building. Let's see. Ayo Edebiri got nominated for The Bear.
Oh, love that.
Let's see. Best Performance by a Female Actress in Drama. Bella Ramsey got nominated for The Last of Us. Emma Stone got nominated for The Curse. Going down the way. Sarah Snook for
Apparently
Succession.
People really like The Curse. I did not check it out, but I love it.
It has the biggest differential between like critic score and audience score that I think I've ever seen. For a TV
I love
show.
Emma Stone.
Yeah, it was like literally like 99 and like 12 or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. Best Performance by a Male in a Limited Anthology Series. David Oyelowo for Lawman Bass Reeves, by the way, which is pretty good. I got to finish that movie. It's a Taylor Sheridan joint. Okay, so Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Motion Picture or Drama. This is one that I need to see, and I think it's going to kill me once we see it. Andrew Scott for All of Us Strangers, which, again, like us, hasn't come out yet, really. Barry Keoghan for Saltburn. Bradley Cooper for Maestro. Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer. Coleman Domingo, Rustin, Leonardo DiCaprio, Killers of the Flower Moon.
That's Cillian versus Leo there. That's Cillian
lead
versus Leo.
Male actor in a motion picture. Some way, somehow, I feel like there's going to be an Andrew Scott push for All of Us Strangers. The reviews coming out of that movie are phenomenal. But apparently it's very emotional and stuff like that. But I would ask me 5 months ago, I would say like Cillian Murphy has no chance to lose. You can bet your mortgage on it. He still might.
I was always scared to say that just because I knew the Leo performance was coming down the pike. We hadn't seen it.
They're not going to give it to Leo.
Yeah, but I don't think they will either.
We're talking Oscars, by the way. I know, but we keep saying
Golden Globes doesn't matter.
we're doing the Golden Globes nominations, but we're talking in future tense about the
Yes,
Oscars.
facts.
Rustin's on Netflix, right?
Yes,
Sure.
it is.
From Coleman Domingo. Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction, getting incredible reviews for that. Joaquin Phoenix in Beau is Afraid, real sicko shit.
Everybody really
fuck
likes
that.
American Fiction, and the trailer is so cringe to me. But I'm gonna see it because I love Jeffrey Wright, and I love Issa Rae, obviously. So
It feels like
no matter what.
the role Jeffrey Wright was born to play. By the way, just from
Honestly,
the
it
trailer.
does.
Yeah.
That comes out this week. I'm trying to see it.
Matt Damon for Air sneaking in there. That's a Globes nomination.
Sneaking. Ah,
So, well, I didn't mean to do that. Nicolas Cage for Dream Scenario, which is played on like a Wednesday here at a local AMC, and
Dex
it was out
hasn't
of
even seen
theaters.
that.
nope.
Me neither.
Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, and Timothy Chalamet from Wonka, which is an incredible bit by the Golden Globes.
The
Well done.
reviewers like Wonka. That's the surprise of the year for me. The reviewers like it.
It's going to make
Yeah.
$1 billion.
84% on Rotten Tomatoes as we speak.
That's crazy.
The reviewers really like it. I couldn't
I'm going to have
believe
to
that.
review that movie. That's nuts.
I will be there. I'm seeing it tomorrow.
Oh my
Paul
God.
Giamatti coming down the tracks for one of those Best Actor spots of the Oscars.
Why are you going to see Wonka and you're not going to see Godzilla -1, which apparently is the greatest movie ever made? I haven't
Incredible.
seen it yet.
I
You saw it?
actually am
Yeah.
seeing both.
I've been telling y'all that I've been seeing this for I saw it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Everyone is saying this movie is the greatest thing of all. Everyone. I haven't heard one negative thing about this film.
Literally have it booked. I am seeing both back to back.
I
Swag.
may watch Oppenheimer again tomorrow at 11 a.m.
I'm watching Die Hard tomorrow, but I'm watching Godzilla this weekend.
Good, because I really want to talk about it. It's really good. Best performance by a male actor in a supporting role in any motion picture: Charles Melton, Mark Ruffalo, Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, Willem Dafoe. I would have sworn to God, just for the Golden Globes purposes, that Ryan Gosling just had this
Yeah.
wrapped up. I
Me
mean,
too.
Robert Downey Jr., but this is pretty
I don't
fucking
know,
stacked.
bro. Yeah.
I think Charles Melton may come away with this fucking thing.
We did not have to nominate Robert Downey Jr. there. No disrespect to his performance, which I think is perfectly fine. But we could have got some I'm just Ken action right there in that category. I think we could have got Gosling right.
He was nominated.
Gosling?
Gosling was nominated, but
Oh, okay.
the star power in this is crazy. Ruffalo, De Niro, Downey Jr., Gosling, Willem Dafoe, and somehow Charles Melton is going to win these awards, by the way.
Wait, what's
What-
the phone nominated for?
Yeah,
Poor Things also.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
I forgot he's in that movie.
I can't wait to see Poor Things. I love Yorgos. I am obsessed with him. I'll see anything that he makes. I'm in.
Bill Hader got nominated for male actor in a television series, musical, or comedy for Barry, but I'm not even sure that's a comedy anymore.
That's real cinema. Even though that last season got real dark.
Jeremy White for The Bear, which I'm also not sure is a comedy.
It's not. There's funny moments, but no, it's not.
Anyway, Ryan Cox for Succession feels like a shoe-in to
You
run
know
away
what
with
I'm
that.
hearing is a lot of theater camp disrespect. Where are my nominations?
For
This is
comedy.
a
The
great
five
one.
best
It
movies.
just
of-
I'm with Dex on this.
wasn't big enough.
We need to really acknowledge the year that Ayo Adebiri has had this year. Not only with The Bear, not only with fucking Turtles, which is fucking real cinema, not only with Theater Camp, which none of you have seen, but you need to fucking see it because it's perfect. She is great.
Bottoms.
And also Bottoms, which is also fucking great. Whoever's sending her script, she's nailing every shot from the field.
I still haven't seen Bottoms, and that feels like a big misstep. by
Bottoms
me.
is great, bro.
Yeah, I haven't seen Bottoms either.
And we need to nominate Marshawn Lynch for the Golden Globes for his performance in Bottoms. Incredible work.
That would have been incredible. So, best screenplay motion picture: Justin Triet, Arthur Harari for Anatomy of a Fall, Greta Gerwig, Noah Baumbach for Barbie, Eric Roth, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Celine Song for Past Lives, Tony McNamara, Poor Things. Tony McNamara, I believe, won the Oscar a few years back, but I kind of feel like this is where we're going to award Celine Song for that movie, just like we've done in the past. Talking about the Oscars, where we've done in the past, is you made a great film, but we'll give you the writing credit, you know?
Yeah, I don't think she's going to be nominated for Best Director. I think it's good. I think she's going to get a Writers Award. I agree with that.
Then all these best television series. Okay, and this is the one that we wanted to talk about. Cinematic and Box Office Achievement Award.
So is this just like what the Oscars tried to do with the pop Oscar? Y'all remember when they were floating?
I think that's
around?
literally it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It feels like the same thing.
They literally like went to Twitter and be like, "Hey, people want us to like award Mission Impossible. Can we put it in somewhere?" Like,
Listen, this is a stupid category, but we need it. I would fucking love if we had to take time in this podcast to talk about the John Wick 4 Oscar campaign. That would make my whole life. It would make my life.
I gotta tell you, I'm so in on this.
I'm in.
I'm unbelievably in.
I know it's stupid, but I am fucking in. Read that list of movies. It's
Okay.
real cinema on that list.
Yeah, so these are some of our favorite movies of the year, by the way. Barbie, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, John Wick Chapter 4, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, which, hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oppenheimer, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour, which Dex loved.
Get that out of here. But this whole list is due.
That shit is real cinema, brother.
And the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which
Get
is
that out of here.
It's
Get that
weird.
outta here.
I was listening to the Big Picture, and they
How
were
can you
like,
shit on the Super Mario Brothers movie? That shit is perfect.
No, it's not.
it's the most made for kids thing that I've ever seen in my
That
entire
shit is
life.
great.
Yeah.
Kids are lucky to have a movie like that. That shit is great.
But I was listening to the Big Picture, and they were not concern trolling, but saying like, "What is this? Like, why do we have this?" And really, it's to get more people.
It's fun.
To get more people to watch the Golden Globes. This isn't going to get people to actually watch the Golden Globes, but to get like Taylor Swift at the Golden Globes. You know what I mean? But it is
to get Tom Cruise at the fucking Golden Globes. That's what we need there.
Shit.
Yeah, he won't be there.
It is funny.
Only if they let him like jump out of a helicopter to like accept his Golden Globe.
Yeah, it is funny. Did he return all of his Golden Globes?
Oh yeah, I think he did. You're right. Yeah.
Why?
Because fuck the Golden Globes.
He's like standing on business against the Hollywood Foreign Press Association or something like that.
Listen, let me just say this, and I mean every word of this. This is not hyperbole. I watched a lot of great movies this year. It's been a good year in movies. A lot of Oscar movies. Had a great time. I laughed. I cried. I thought about life. I put myself into the film. Great movie year. Nothing at the movies made me feel like John Wick 4 did. Nothing. Nothing. That should be rewarded.
That's
something.
That's kind of what they're doing here, and I don't know what you do with this, like at the Oscars, because I think they should scrap this and then like put in a best stunt performance category, which we've been harping for forever.
Memorial.
Yeah, the Tom Cruise Memorial.
Tom Cruise Memorial Award. I'm in.
He's not dead. He's just gonna try to kill himself. And
he's not dead yet, but I know it's coming up.
Yeah, we're holding a placeholder for him on this award category. But this is interesting because it's not the top films of the year as far as box office goes. Because in those included in the top of the box office was films like Fast X, like the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. So they just took all the good box office films and put them in here, which is really funny. Like,
listen, we might not want them to award Wish and No Hard Feelings, but I can agree. I think I speak for Americans across the aisle. Republicans, conservatives, liberals, left-wingers, people that use Twitter, people that use Instagram. None of us wanted to ever talk about Fast X again. Ever.
No, not once. Not a single time. That'll be one of my favorite like movie theater memories of 2023 is Gal Gadot popping up on screen in Fast X and everyone in the theater just going, ugh.
Just groan sigh.
I thought she was dead. Ugh.
Unbelievable. Yeah, so anyway, what would you award cinematic and box office achievement? This feels like it's going to Barbie, but
it's probably going to Barbie.
But I gotta say, I don't know if it's this award. I don't know if we got to make up a new award. Whatever we got to do. Tom Cruise keeping Haley Atwell from falling out of a train that's on a cliff and is also exploding and on fire is some of the most compelled I have ever been in a movie theater, and that needs an award.
We don't talk
That's all
about
I'm
that
saying.
movie enough, and I don't think a lot of people talk about that movie enough.
It's
It wasn't
phenomenal.
included in anybody's top 5. And I think it has to do because it's part 1 of part 2, or of a 2-part thing. But like, and it also didn't make money. But like,
It got such a bad beat coming out right
Yeah.
before Barbenheimer.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what happened. It got drowned in the Barbenheimer.
all-time fumble by our.
all-time fumble with the placement of that film.
But that movie
made me feel
fucks so hard. Like,
They need to
that movie
re-release
is
that
so
back in the
good.
theaters because I need to feel something again. That
Also, Haley Atwell was fucking incredible. She was amazing. She was
Best
snappy.
supporting
She was
actress
quippy.
nomination. Let's do it. Let's get it done.
Her and Tom Cruise had natural chemistry because she's a young, good-looking woman, and Tom
And he's
Cruise
Tom
is an
Cruise.
old, self-hating male. It was perfect.
yeah.
That movie's so fucking good.
Best
I'm
anyone's looked on
literally
screen,
giggling
including
thinking
Barbie.
about it.
Including Barbie.
I need to run that back. I watched it twice in theaters. I need to run that shit back 9 more times. Haley Atwell, I love you. And I don't even like white women. No disrespect to anyone. Haley Atwell, I love you. You are the most gorgeous woman, and you were fucking hilarious. Tom Cruise could not take all the oxygen out of the room when you were in the room. That's incredible to do. She's amazing.
Yeah, so those are the nominees for box office smash hit or whatever the fuck that award is called. But incredible that they just did that. They're just like, this is what the people want, right? End with that award, by the way. Don't end with like best motion picture. End with
fuck
like
that. No.
end with
Box
Keanu
office
Reeves like
And
coming
with
on
Keanu
screen.
Reeves going on the stage and accepting his award. And with that.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna do top 5 movies. We're gonna do that late, for a
let's
separate
wait.
episode. Anyway, that has been all that. Anything that you want to point out that y'all have been watching?
I just want to hear your thoughts on Killing of a Sacred Deer without spoiling it because I want people to watch it if you liked it.
What the fuck?
Incredible cinema. I was so moved by it. I felt
I mean,
everything.
I mean, seriously, like what the hell? What the hell was that?
That's when I knew my son Barry was going to be a star. Right there. He's fucking so creepy in that movie. He's so creepy.
I don't know how to feel about that movie. I never will watch it again. And, I was thoroughly enamored by what was going on the screen and the choices that they were making.
Tell me which sex scene was more awkward for you to watch. Beau is Afraid or The Killing of a Sacred Deer? Which sex scene was weirder?
I don't know. Like, you're in a theater or whatever, like, and Mariah Carey is playing, like, it becomes a bit.
I was so angry. I was like, why did they ruin this song for me? Why did they do that?
And they ran it back. Like, the song ends and they started over again. Ari Aster, I love you. Ari Aster, I love you.
That being said, watching what's her face, Nicole Kidman, play a dead person or
literally
person
play dead.
On anesthesia, just at like midnight on your couch. I'm just like, what am I doing? You know,
what am I doing with my life?
Yeah,
that's how I felt watching Beau is Afraid. Like, why am I here? What choices led me?
I'm putting that movie on tonight as I go to sleep so I can feel something.
It's weird to say how much I hated Beau is Afraid, but I kind of fucked with Killing of a Sacred Deer. Because it's a lot of the same shit. Anyway.
Two of the weirdest movies you'll ever watch.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah. Barry Keoghan, Shifty Face Award. Award for the most shifty face in Hollywood. I was watching that, and I was like, no shit, they cast him as the Joker.
Perfect. He has a layup.
Yeah, you're like, yep, absolutely.
1,000%.
Yep. It is me, the Lobster defender. The Lobster was so much more like fun than like Killing of a Sacred Deer, if that makes sense.
I haven't seen The Lobster.
Oh my God. Yeah, so I watched Godzilla -1, too. Incredible film. And I also watched How to Blow Up a Pipeline, which is on Hulu.
I'm about to watch that too.
Unreal. I'm fucking alive. I'm alive. That movie was unreal. Yeah. It definitely is trying to send a message. I don't know if you'll get it, but it's pretty hard to like parse through what they're trying to say.
So subtle.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it's on Hulu. Go check it out. But yeah, so and Sopranos. I'm still watching that and all the Yellowstone shit.
Speaking of Nicole Kidman movies that get kind of weird, I watched The Northman again. That movie still rules.
Yeah.
That movie is still just so badass. Fucking them doing like their pregame like wolf chant shit. I was like, yeah, brother, let's fucking go.
Dudes rock.
I said this when we reviewed it at the time. The drums in that movie just make you feel like a man, dude. Like it's so good.
That was one of my favorite theater experiences for those drums alone. They moved something in my soul in that movie theater. They really
makes
did.
me want to fight my father's killer naked in a volcano.
Yeah, that movie is awesome. I also watched the John Travolta movie Gotti that came out like
why?
Why did you do that? Why?
We did like a reaction video for it for the Watch for the Apollo YouTube channel, like trying to see if it's actually as bad as 0% on Rotten Tomatoes would suggest, and it is. So don't watch that, but watch our YouTube video whenever that comes out. Not sure when that'll be, but you'll see tweets. I also saw The Boy in the Hair, and like I mentioned, didn't like it. I won't call it bad. I just didn't like it. And I saw The Color Purple, which we also talked about. And that movie is awesome. Not fun, not delightful, but very good. And I think you should go see it.
Tej, anything?
I rewatched Monster, the Charlize Theron movie, because there was a clip of the actual real serial killer floating around on the timeline, and it went viral. So it made me want to revisit that. And they really made Charlize Theron look ugly, which is crazy that they were able to do that. Like literally insane. And I saw the Beyonce film finally, greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. I want to see it 900 more times. That shit is 3 hours in a movie theater, and my heart was pounding the entire time. Beyonce, I love you. You are a queen. I could not love you more. It was one of my favorite cinematic experiences of the year. And what a beautiful woman, and what beautiful gowns. And it's just a perfect film. It's perfect. Written, directed, produced by Beyonce, a fucking queen.
Yeah, it's I thought it was impossible for me to be more impressed by Beyonce than I already was. But then I came out of that movie like, damn, like I knew she was her, but she's really her.
Yeah.
Like this shit is crazy.
Guys, I haven't seen it. Sorry.
Greatness. Absolute greatness.
A lot of people had that like on their like top 5 movies when I tweeted that.
There's a scene where she's literally singing, rehearsing a song, and at the same time critiquing the lighting and critiquing the stage design at the same time. I've never seen anything like it. She is singular. She is singular. I didn't think I could come away more impressed with Beyonce, and I came away 100 times more impressed with Beyonce. She's singular in who she is and what she does, and she's our greatest living performer, and I'm glad that I got to take that journey with her. I'm glad that it was 3 hours long. I wish it was 5 hours long. Say yes to real cinema that's long. I don't need a
She earned those 3 hours.
Yes.
All right. That has been What We're Watching. This has been a one-take podcast, a nearly 2-hour version. We haven't done one of these in a minute, unless we might have. The last one might have been long too. I don't know. Anyway, so next week, I can already tell you we're going to do a top 5 of 2023 episode, and then eventually we will, as is tradition, do a Christmas movie episode. We'll see if we can get some guests on for that one. Probably a Christmas throwback episode. We've done.
Are we doing Godzilla? Is it that good?
I found it to be extraordinary, but I mean, y'all can watch it and tell me. But I truly found it to be like one of the best blockbusters of this year, and a year full of like incredible blockbusters. But
damn, I didn't think you could get every critic in the world to agree that that Godzilla movie is good. I didn't think that was possible.
Shits on the American Godzilla movies that have come out, where it's like we're gonna have Godzilla fight a monkey, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Hey, Kong is not a monkey. Please respect my king. Respect my king.
Monkey versus lizard fight. So yeah. Anyway, that is what we'll be doing. I think we've done Elf and what was the one we've done before?
Home Alone.
We've done Home Alone. We've also done the movie that you hate.
Love Actually.
Love Actually.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I have a couple suggestions. We could do the greatest Christmas movie of all time Friday After Next, or we could do the greatest Christmas movie of all time, Die Hard, which I'm seeing
I
in
will do
theaters
a Die
tomorrow.
Hard. I will do a Die Hard thing.
Which I'm seeing in theaters tomorrow. I cannot fucking wait. Never
All
seen
right.
it in theaters before. Very excited.
That has been a One Take Podcast. You can find us at One Take Podcast on Twitter, One Take Podcast on YouTube, One Take Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, the like. That is the number One Take Pod on Twitter. Go tell us your top 5 favorite movies. I tweeted that out today. Got a lot of responses, actually. Kind of inactive sometimes on the Twitter account. But it is good to see people ranking John Wick and all the movies that we love on there as well. So everyone's normie, just like we are. Anyway, Dex, what are we doing?
Hashtag support Florence Pugh. You can check her out as part of the English voice cast for The Boy and the Heron, which is part of why I went to go see it. I didn't like it, but it's not her fault.
That is true. Support Florence Pugh, and we're out.